Okay everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to be working on something I call Hackintosh, where we are going to be installing Mac OS. Version is Ventura, and we're going to install this on a Proxmox. And this is for cases where you want to use the Mac OS but you don't have a physical Mac device. So you can use the Mac OS and put it on a virtual machine and work it. You can put this on VMware, you can do it on Hyper-V, and we're doing it on Proxmox. So you got a few options. Today we're going to be doing it on Proxmox. So without further ado, if you look on my screen, this is our agenda. These are some files that you need to download before you get started. So I've taken the chance to put it up here so you can see it. Take a screenshot, or if anything, if you want to remember. However, I will have these links inside of the download, excuse me, not the download, but at the bottom of the video, I'll have these links posted for you so that you can download them and get directly to these files. All right, so without further ado, once you've downloaded all of these, I recommend putting these inside of a folder so that we can work from there. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my folder. And in fact, no, let me run through and show you how to get these files real quick, because you might be running around looking for them on the site. So let's go ahead together, and we're going to go through showing you where you can find them on the site. All right, so these files have actually been gathered by, I think it's called Everything Tech Box. They've been hosting. You can search around for macOS Ventura elsewhere. I've actually just found it on this site to work. So shout out to this person or the group that's hosting it. I think it's called Everything Tech or Everything Tech Box. They actually have the files that they're hosting. All right, so if you go to the first link, it's going to take you here, and then you can download right there. It says download. Just note, this file is 14.65 gigabyte. So hopefully you have good internet connection, because it will take a little bit to download. Even down here, if you take a look to see the comments, it said it takes a day to download, and someone responded and said, well, file is quite large, a faster network would help, or internet connection, I guess. So if you don't have fast internet, you might want to look into that, because with a Mac OS, it does take a little while. It's very huge. All right, second link, we're going to go to the Nick dude. And this is on GitHub, and if you go over to the right to the latest release, you're going to click here. Once you click here, it's going to take you into another page, and then you're going to look for the Opencore V2, whatever the latest version is. This was updated March 24 as we're speaking. You're going to download that file right there, and then the next file you're going to download is also the core configurator, also back on the Everything Tech Box side. Shout out to these guys again. Smaller file right there, click download. This was released in April 2023, right? And then next one now is the notes. So these are basically some configuration notes that you need to pretty much add to your shell. Depending on the box, if you're running Intel, you'll have to go into your shell and run these, or if you're on the AMD box, you'll run these as well. And it's just basically a way to configure the Hyper-V or the hypervisor so it can work properly and communicate with the install when you're setting it up. Okay, so those are the links. I think we have everything we need. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to open up my downloads folder and show you the next step. So once you've downloaded everything, I like to put everything inside of one location so that I can easily work from there. So the first one is the Mac OS right there that is downloaded. So you'll need to have that. Then the Opencore, the version that you downloaded, you want to extract this. So you want to right click and go to your extractor. I have WinRAR. WinRAR is good, or you can also use 7-zip or any extractor that you have on your system. And then you're going to extract this to actually a folder itself. Once that folder is extracted, you want to go in and make sure that you have the ISO image here, and then you're going to upload this ISO image and then also this ISO image into your Proxmox server, because we're going to need it for the installation phase. So I am back over on my Proxmox server, and if I go to my local PVE, you can see that inside of my ISO, I've taken the time to upload the Mac OS and then also the Opencore. These two files you're going to need, so I've already uploaded those. So you can take the time to go ahead and upload those because you're going to need it. Once you have these inside of your box, then now it's time to create a new VM. And then from here, we're going to start with the customization all the way out. I'm going to call this 5 in the 500 range. So I'm just going to call this 501, right? And then the name that you want to give this, you can do this, give it a name, macOS, something like that. Okay. And then once we're here, okay, so once you're comfortable with this, then we're going to jump into the next page and go to the OS. So you can click next, and we're going to go here. So on the OS screen, you want to go ahead and make sure this local storage is good to go. The type, we're going to select other because this is going to be other operating system. And then we're going to go ahead and look for the Opencore. That's the image that you want to boot from. So local, Opencore, and then other. And then this is good to go. So once you're there, you're going to go ahead and click next from here. So once we're on the system screen, for the graphics card, I like to change this to VMware compatible, which is right there. And then our machine, we can select Q35. The BIOS, we're going to change to this right here, and then uncheck the pre-enroll keys. So you just want to go ahead and uncheck that. And then inside of the EFI or EFI storage, select your local LVM. And then over here on the SCSI controller, we're going to select Virtual IO, just SCI, just like that. And then once all of this is good to go, we're going to go to the next tab over. So from here, let's go to next. And then once we're in disk, we are going to set up a few things. So starting to the right, I'm going to select the cache, and we're going to go ahead and do right back on safe. Okay, and then the bus, we're going to change this to virtual IO block, which is good to go. Leave the local storage itself, and then we need to change this. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this like 100 gigs to have enough space for this image itself. So once everything looks good here, we're going to go ahead and click next on the screen. On the CPU, depending on how much you have, right now I have about 2. I'm going to give this 2 cores. And then the type from here, I want to do host. So I'm going to put that as host. And I should be good to go here. So let's go ahead and click next. So the minimum amount of RAM, 4096, is going to be that. But I'm going to try to give it a max of 8192. For 8 gigs right there. And that's just the minimum amount of memory is 4 gigs, and then max around will be 8. Alright, so once your memory is good to go, click next, and then from here we are going to keep the bridge the same. Don't have to change anything there, but no, the actual card itself we're going to change, and we're just going to go to VMware Net 3. I think this is one that works so well. I'm not sure why this changes like this, but it's just something funny that I've tested with and seems to work with the VMware here. So just go ahead and click next, confirm everything is good to go, and then we're just going to go ahead and click finish and let it build out itself. So once this is good to go, now go ahead and find the newly created virtual machine. We're going to go to hardware itself, and now we need to add a new CD-ROM drive itself. And what we're adding now on the storage is going to be the local. Now we're going to go and add the macOS virtual ISO image, and then click add right there. All right, so now it's time for us to do some shell commands. So we need to go up to the top and click on your Proxmox server. Come over to your shell, and now that we're inside of our shell, we have to run a few commands. So what we're typing in today is going to be this file right here. I've typed it out for you so you can see. So it's nano slash etc pve quemo server. And then the 501, how did I get that? And that basically lines up with your VM. So whatever the number of your ID for that VM is, you want to go ahead and type that in. And then once you're here, you want to go ahead and click enter. And this is going to take you now inside of the configuration file of your shell. So once we're here, you want to put some space up here. So it's good to just hit enter real quick. Now, if you remember the file that we downloaded earlier when I was telling you about the shell command, it should be a note text pad. We're going to go back to it, which is right in here. There's no text that you downloaded. And basically, you want to copy that command. So right here, the Intel, let me see if I do a word wrap for you. You guys can see it a little bit better. So this right here, if you have an Intel processor, you want to copy that, whatever the Proxmox is running on. If you have an AMD processor, you want to go ahead and also put that in as well, and make sure that your system is good to go. So once you've identified which processor you have, you want to go ahead and copy that right there, and you're going to go back into up here, and we're going to go ahead and paste it as such. All right, so once that is in, I can go ahead and put this in. So once that is in, I think I have extra space up here. Now we're looking for the IDE 0 and IDE 2, right? If you look at it, read the line, you will notice that media equal right there, CD-ROM, and then media equals CD-ROM right there. So you need to comment these out. So we're going to go down with our mouse, or actually use a keyboard, and you want to comment these out. So it needs to be changed, and it's going to say cache, and then equal unsafe, just like that. And then the same thing, you want to go up and do the same thing here as well. So comment those out. Just like that. Want to make sure both of them are changed. So once you are in here now and everything is good to go, Control O is going to go ahead and write it, and then enter. And then we're going to do Control X to get out of there and head back into where we started. Okay, so I think we have the necessary stuff we need to start. So let's go back to our VM now and go to console. And now we can attempt to start this bad boy up. Here is, you're going to hit enter on your keyboard. Okay, and now you're into the shell. So inside of the shell, you want to type fs0 and then hit enter. Actually, fs0, and there you go. So fs0 and then colon. Don't forget your colon. I just did that. All right, so once we're in here, we need to go ahead and access the boot file. So we're going to type in system, a slash. So you're doing a slash from top left down, and then library, and then a slash again. It's the one above your enter sign, then core, and then services, slash again, and then we're going to go to boot, and then .efi, and then hit enter. And there we go. We have our Apple sign. All right, so now that you can see once it boots up, the first thing we need to do is go to this utility. All right, so we need to go here, click continue. And this is where you can see the actual utilities inside of the macOS boot up screen. At this time, you want to change your view. So the top right there goes show all devices, so you can see all of the hardwares that you have on your left hand side. So if you look around, you'll notice that from down here, you will see the Qimo. This is the drive that we loaded earlier. This is what it looks like. Up here where you see the virtual IO, this is the 100 gigs that I gave it right here. So you can see the difference in it. So what we need to do, we need to go ahead and click erase. We need to erase this disk. Okay, so let's go ahead and click erase. And the name of this, I'm just going to call this macOS. And then make sure that the format is APFS. Okay, and then click erase. And then once that is complete, you want to go ahead and click done. So now you have a clean drive. Perfecto. So once the hard drive is wiped, this is basically everything you need. So we can go ahead and close this out, and we're back into the main screen. So now we want to install Mac OS right here. So we're going to click that and then click continue. And it's going to take us to the next screen right here to install. So just go ahead and click continue again. And then it should also now give you the option to select where you want to do the install after we agree to the terms and conditions. So, okay, I need to read it. And then select the drive where we're going to do it, the 106 you can see right there. And then we're going to click continue. And now this process, ladies and gentlemen, will take about an hour and a half for it to run. So just be patient. Mine says about 17 minutes. Don't trust it because it takes a little bit longer. Just make sure that you're paying attention to hit enter each time it requests for you to boot. So I'm going to pause here and we should be right back. Okay, you should see the screen around sometime here. You want to click it and just hit enter to continue. And it's just going to continue to boot up and just load the OS. So like I said, you got to be patient a little bit because when Mac does this installation, it can take a little while. But be patient, it will work out for you. Now it says about 29 minutes, and this is what I said in the beginning. You're going to see 17, then you'll see 29, and then it just keeps going. So be patient and let it load. We should be right back. All right, so once you have hit enter about 3, 4, 5 times, you should be here now. So let's go ahead and select. If you press U, if you're in the US, press whatever the key is, it should take you down there. So where are you? Use a keyboard as well. All right, and then let's go ahead and click continue. You're satisfied. All right, English, good to go. Oops, go back. Continue. All right, data and privacy could continue here as well. Not now. I'm going to select not now, not migrating anything. And then I'll set up a iCloud or Apple thing later, so just set up later. And then we'll just skip. Accept the terms and conditions. Agree. And then here you just want to create a name for it. So let's go with and then call it you learn is fine. Let's give it a password. Verify. Now do the dance. Alright, continue. I'm gonna go ahead and create the account for the system. All right, so we can go ahead and enable location services if you choose to. I'm just going to go ahead and click continue. We don't want to use location services, so I'm okay with that. And then time zone, so gonna find my time zone down here. Which I don't think it matters. I mean, can't even find. I'm in the Pacific side, um, closer to California. So I see Los Angeles, but I don't see. Gotta be kidding me. Whatever. So we're gonna click continue. You can change that later. That's not a big deal. And then click continue. Set up screen time later, because these functionalities not gonna work while I'm here. And then I like to do dark mode, so click that. Let it ride. All right, so click continue. Okay, can't find the keyboard, which is not bad. And normally the keyboard assistant just help you with finding a keyboard with your Mac, because you know it comes with a Mac. This is normally supposed to be like a, if you go to about this Mac, it's like an iMac Pro. There you go, 2017 version. And so I got 8 gigs of RAM that I gave it. So as you can see, and then more info will bring you in. So it's not bad, per se. All right, so we're almost finished. There's one thing that I think we need to check, and is the boot configuration setup. So the bootloader needs to be changed. So if you remember in the beginning, I told you about a file that you'll need to download, the Opencore configurator. So we'll need to actually get that file to change the boot. So if you download the Opencore configurator here, click download, and then go to the your downloads and find it. And you're going to have to make some changes. So click OK. Right here, and this is just because it's from a different location. So what you're seeing earlier is just a security setting for Mac. So I'm just going to drag this to the desktop, and I'm going to show you again. If you try to open it, it's should trigger an arrow right here, which is cool. So what you want to do is go to File at the top, Finder, go to Settings real quick, and we're going to go to, actually no, need to go to File and trying to go back into our system. Yeah, so kind of been a while since I played with Mac. So okay, so the icon, system settings, you want to go over there, and we have updates over here. I was running earlier, so we're gonna go now to general and scroll down. No, not general, sorry, we need security. So let's come to privacy and security, and we're looking for the file that we were working with earlier. So let's scroll down. You can see that right here it says Opencore Configurator was blocked. So we're going to click open anyways, and then need to punch in that password. And that's basically just unlocking the application so that it can run. And then this is just warning you, letting you know that it's not an application that is known, yada yada yada. Click OK. You're just giving the application permission for it to actually open itself. And once these show up, and this is open right here, if you look to the top right here, you will see that you have the open configurator here. So what you could do, we could close these out. We don't really need it right now. We'll come back to these, close down our downloads just to give us some space for what we're about to work on. Okay, so right here, since it's up, you want to look at the EFI in this. You see this 0, 1 and then this 0, 2. So to mount this partition, it's going to prompt you again to probably log in. There you go, because we're making changes to the system. Normally with Mac, it prompts you like that to make changes. So we went ahead and mount. So we're going to do the second one as well. We need to do both of them, which is cool. And then now we need to open the partitions on both sides so we can take a look at them. And what you can notice, let's close this again, is that on one partition where it's being booted from, it has the EFI file structure, right? And then the other one is empty. If you go into the EFI, you'll see the boot and the OC. So that's basically everything you need to boot. So what you could do is just go ahead and copy and then paste this over here as well. And let it, there you go. And then from here now, you can delete Opencore Configurator if you choose to, but this will solve the problem now from booting. You should be able to boot properly and you shouldn't have any issues going forward. All right, so once these are good to go, you can close these out. We don't really need them anymore. And we're just gonna go ahead and do a shutdown and close everything out. And then let's minimize. Let's go back inside of Proxmox now. This should be shutting down. So we'll just wait for the box to actually shut down. So there you go. So now we need to go back into our hardware. And what we're going to do is look for the ISO. So right here, the hard disk where Opencore. Right there, we don't need it anymore. So we can detach Opencore. Click yes. And then also the CD-ROM drive that we were using. Where are you? Right here. ISO for the CD-ROM drive. Yep, we don't need that. So we can also detach that as well. So that was the ISO that we used to boot up earlier, so we don't need it because we can remove it. And then now your structure should be fine. So if we went back to console and let's go back up here and then start, we shouldn't have any problems booting back up our Mac OS. So just hit enter to boot back, and there goes our apple pie cooking in the oven. I hope this was very useful to many of you, especially if you're studying for like A+ and you need hands-on experience or training to see what the Mac OS is and just to play around with it. Go ahead and drop us a like, comment below and let us know what you think about this video. Hopefully it was actually helpful to you. Let's go back and log in. And that is it, folks. There goes our Mac on our Proxmox, completely built out, and you can actually use this if you choose to going forward. But everything looks good to go. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys later.